Hi parents, can you remember all the excitement and all the wonderful ideas you had when you were expecting your first child? Yes, I can. I can think of it even right now, how excited I am, the books, the number of books that I read, and the preparations, the joy that I have is just beyond descriptions. Yes, as parents, we all want the best for our children, always. Especially as Christian parents, we want our children to have the right ideas of what Christian living is all about. We don't want them to become a prodigals, no, neither do we want them to become a Pharisees. So we try our very best to make a difference for Christ living in our lives so that other people can see and wonders how amazing this family is. That is what we want him to do. But to be a good parents will crush you if you do not embrace grace. This is precisely the topic for today that I'm going to talk about. Grace for the parent's heart. Grace for the parent's heart. What is grace? As described in the Bible in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 to 9. For by grace we have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, it's the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. Not a result of works. It so clearly says that grace is given as a gift of God to each one of us, not through what we have done. But as parents, we like to work hard to show others, everyone, what a good family we have, what a loving children we have. So we strive our best, use all sorts of ways, method to ensure our children actually grow up to be someone that is lovely and is wonderful, and everybody look at it will say how amazing this family is. Let's face it, if we got a moment to stop and think it about, we already know how much we have let our children down through our own weaknesses and at times our wrong priorities that we have set for us and for our children. We must admit that we are not perfect. If we are not perfect, how can we expect to have a perfect family and ideally a perfect children? It's not possible. It is important for us to come back to the grace of God. We must realize that we are all sinners saved by grace. How liberating it is to know that we are all sinners saved by grace. It explains why sometimes we just rub each other up the wrong way. Let's put it together, all the sinners in one family. There will definitely be frictions. Can you imagine that? Although we love one another, how can we expect our children to experience and taste the goodness of the loving, saving grace of God if what we have as a parenting style is just about legalism? We can't communicate grace to our children if we do not allow grace to be first communicated into our hearts. As parents, we need to bring our parenting sins, our weaknesses, our wrong, right before God, at the cross, at the feet of Jesus. When we come before God by His grace, that is the time when we kneel ourselves down before Him, surrender all that we can unto the feet of God. That is where the grace of God will take over, and that is the time we can celebrate the good news. The good news for us and for our family to know that we are family, loving and saving by the grace of God, and we can do it together. Here is the distinct difference between a good and a godly parents. A good parent lives with pleasure to work hard to build a perfect family. A godly parent lives with grace that God is in control and God has a good plan for the family. A good parent lives in fear of what others might think of them as family, constantly seeking the approval of others. A godly parent lives in trust that God's grace is more than sufficient to restore and build a godly family, constantly seeking the grace of God. A good parent may withdraw from their children, especially when problems or spiritual matters arise. Out of fear, they will be exposed as flawed parents. A godly parents are confident that their father will use even their flaws and failures for good. So prayerfully engage even the most difficult family problems. A good parent may be resentful toward God or others when things doesn't go as they want or when the children disappoint them. A godly parent learns surrender, comfort, and forgiveness from their father who has given them. Today's parenting tips: embrace God's grace. That's all I have to say. Embrace God's grace. How true it is. We are who we are, just simply because by the grace and the love of God. I would like to recap Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8 to 9 to set as a reminder for each one of us. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, it's the gift of God, not as a result of works, so that no one may boast. Let us be reminded again and again, parenting is not how much you have worked on it, but how much you have come before the throne of God, the feet of Jesus, the cross of the Christ, how he has given us grace to do the best as a godly parents. There are some reflective questions down there below at the description box. Do reflect on it and ponder on it this week. May God bless each one of us, you and me, to continue to try our best to be a godly parent who are saved by the grace of God. Bye. God bless you.